I thought we had it all. It's the perfect relationship, the house we were about to buy, the future we planned together. We'd been together for 5 years, and I was ready to pop the question. I'd even bought the ring. Then, one ordinary Tuesday night, my entire world shattered. I came home early from a work dinner, planning to surprise her. The lights were dim, and I heard voices from the living room. I tiptoed closer, a smile on my face, ready to jump out and say boo. But the voice I heard wasn't from the TV. It was a man's voice, low and intimate. And then I heard her laugh, a soft, private giggle I thought was reserved only for me. My heart hammered against my ribs. I peeked around the corner. There she was, on our couch, with my so-called best friend Mark. They weren't just talking. The scene burned itself into my memory, a picture of betrayal so vivid it made my stomach churn. I backed away slowly, my hands shaking, the surprise I'd planned turning into a sickening horror show. I slipped out the front door without making a sound. My first instinct was to burst back in, to scream, to break things. But as I sat in my car, parked down the street, a cold, chilling calm washed over me. No, I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction of a dramatic scene. I was going to play the long game. The next morning, I walked back into the house as if nothing had happened. Kissed her goodbye like I did every day. She smiled, oblivious. "Did you have a good dinner last night?" she asked. "It was fine," I said, my voice steady, betraying none of the storm raging inside me. This was the start of my new double life. By day, I was the loving, devoted boyfriend. By night, I was a detective, a strategist, a man plotting his revenge. I started small. I put a voice-activated recorder in her car, installed tracking software on her phone. Every late night at the office or girls' night out was a lie, and I had the proof. I listened to their conversations, their pet names for each other, their plans for a future that didn't include me. They were laughing at me, mocking my trust. Each recording felt like another twist of the knife, but it also fueled my resolve. I saved every text, every recording, every piece of evidence in a folder on my computer titled The Project. Meanwhile, we continued with our life plans. The biggest one was buying our first house together. It was a beautiful place, a Victorian with a huge backyard. We had been saving for years. Our joint savings account was bursting. We went to meetings with the real estate agent, signed preliminary papers, and talked endlessly about paint colors and furniture. She was so excited, so blissfully unaware. She'd talk about our future kids playing in the yard, while I knew she was texting Mark about meeting up later. It was surreal. The revenge I was planning wasn't about yelling or fighting. It was about dismantling the life she thought she was building with me, brick by brick. I started moving my own money out of our joint account, bit by bit, into a new private account. I made sure it was slow, untraceable. I told her I was investing some of it in low-risk bonds for our future. She just smiled and said, "You're so smart with money, babe." The irony was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Then I focused on Mark. He worked at a rival company in the same industry as me. We used to be friends, sharing career advice and industry gossip. Now, I used that knowledge against him. I knew about a major project he was leading, one that could make or break his career. Through some careful anonymous tips to the right people at his company, I exposed some of the shortcuts and ethical gray areas he was using. I didn't lie, I just illuminated the truth he was trying to hide. His project crumbled, and with it, his reputation. He was under investigation, and his career was on the brink of collapse. He became stressed, paranoid, and less available for his secret rendezvous. The DID, or as I called it, the grand finale, was set for the day we were supposed to close on the house. This was the day we were to transfer the final down payment from our joint account. All our family and close friends were invited to a housewarming party that evening. They thought they were celebrating our new beginning. Little did they know, they were attending a closing ceremony of a different kind. The morning of the closing, I woke up early. I looked at her sleeping next to me and felt nothing but a cold void. I got up, made coffee, and executed the final phase of my plan. I transferred the last remaining funds from our joint account, leaving it with a balance of exactly 0. Then, I packed my bags. I didn't take much, just my clothes, my personal belongings, and the evidence folder. I left a single manila envelope on her pillow. Inside was a printout of the joint account's 0 balance, copy of the withdrawal receipt for the house deposit I had canceled, and a single glossy photo. It was a screenshot of one of her texts to Mark, one where she said, "I and wait to get rid of him and start our life in OUR's new house." I didn't stick around to see her reaction. I was already in my car, driving away from the house, the city, and the life I thought I wanted. My phone started blowing up about an hour later. First her, then her mom, then our friends. I ignored them all. I turned my phone off and just drove. Later that evening, while their housewarming party guests were probably arriving at an empty house they didn't own, I was checking into a hotel in a new city hundreds of miles away. I turned my phone back on. There were dozens of missed calls and a flood of angry, confused, and desperate text messages. I opened just one from her. It just said, "How could you?" I laughed. A real, genuine laugh for the first time in months. I typed out my one and only reply. "You should have asked yourself the same question. P.S. I hope you and Mark enjoy your new life together. You'll need each other now." Then I blocked her number. I blocked Mark. I blocked everyone from that chapter of my life. Starting over isn't easy, but let me tell you, the weight that lifted off my shoulders was incredible. I lost a house, but I got my life back. And that's a trade I'd make any day of the week. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't getting loud. It's getting even and then getting gone. Thanks for listening to my story. It's been a wild ride, but I'm in a much better place now. If you've been through something similar, remember, you're not alone, and your happiness is what matters most. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content. See you next time.